Thomas Carmichael David was born on the 1st of February 1874 in Dundee to a family of rich merchants. He had an affair with farm girl Flora Sarah David while the family was on a shooting holiday in Norfolk. She got pregnant. His family was outraged and sent him to India in 1898, where he was stationed as an officer in the army. But Flora, who was daring and independent, did not plan on staying a single mother stuck on the farm in Wareham. So Flossie, as many called her, set sail for India with the money Thomas's family had paid her off with, and arrived at the commanding officer's quarters claiming to be Thomas Carmichael's wife. They were wedded the next day, the 29th of November 1898, at the Grand Hotel in Calcutta. 6 weeks later, Louise, my great-grandmother, was born. Hector and his two sisters Louise and Marjorie were born in Bengal, India. Louise and Hector were sent back to Scotland one by one to be brought up by the resolutely respectable and disapproving Scottish relatives who tortured them with porridge and made them sleep with the windows open. Marjorie, the youngest, stayed in India with her mother, much to the jealousy of her siblings. She stayed in conflict with them forever. To the horror of the Scottish aunts, Flossie left her husband and returned to Dundee to claim back her children and move to Saffron Walden in England. Hector started at the King Edward VI Grammar School. He went on to attend the Perth School in Cambridge. Hector took after his mother in many ways. He loved sport and played football, hockey, and tennis. When World War I broke out, Hector saw a chance for adventure and enlisted on the 1st of December 1915, claiming to be 17, though he was only 15. He ended up in the Royal Naval Air Service as a boy mechanic, then upgrading to actually flying. Though he was injured halfway through the war, Hector was transferred to India with the 22nd Punjabi Regiment, with which he served until the 29th of March 1920, when he was demobilised. Hector was somewhat an adrenaline junkie. He headed wherever there was action, danger, excitement, adventure, or risk of being killed. His next stop was Ireland, where he joined the Royal Irish Constabulary, which was Ireland's armed countrywide police force until 1922. It is said that he was also a black and tan, more properly known as the Royal Irish Constabulary Reserve Force, who was said to make Ireland hell for rebels to live in. But the Observer of the 22nd of November 1970 features an article by Ken Hawkes and General Lindley telling about the Bloody Sunday of November the 21st, 1920, when members of the IRA gunned down several officers from the RIC in cold blood. The article contains a photograph captioned, "A typical group of devil-may-care auxiliaries recruited from unemployed officers, photographed in Dublin in 1920. Pictured third from the left is Hector. On the 20th of December 1922, Hector married Beryl Barbara Winifred Backler, one of the Jewell sisters. At the time, Hector was still living in Northern Ireland, and they planned on having children, though they were living apart, as there was no room for Beryl where Hector was working. Beryl became pregnant with Ivy, who died at birth. Hector rejoined the RAF on the 15th of March 1924 for a short 4-year service reporting to the No. 5 Flying Training School at Shotwick in Clyde, where Hector trained on Avro 504s. After 11 months at this training school, he was posted to Squadron 99, based back in Bircham, Newton, Norfolk. Beryl gave birth to Jill and Robin before the war broke out, during which Hector probably flew around a bit before apparently disappearing until around 1946 or 7, when he reappeared calling himself Dave, with a new wife and a child, young Dave. Winifred Yaxley was a barmaid working in the Green Man in Putney, where she and Dave went to live. Dave worked as a telephone operator. Winnie later gave birth to Mary Stuart David. Dave, or Hector, had abandoned his first family. He passed syphilis on to Beryl, who went mad and died young and poor, as Hector refused to support her or the children in spite of being court-martialed. Jill and Robin spent their childhood going from one foster home to the next, always hungry and feeling rejected, then going to boarding school until they were old enough to run away from Britain and their past. They went to Canada, never to return, and, I quote Robin, do not want to remember those years or meet anyone from that era, which is a bit over the top, if you ask me.
Hector, like most people in the family, had a strong character. He went through life loving and hating passionately, and being either loved or hated passionately. One thing is certain. His migrations had much more to do with his emotions than with any political or economic happenings in the world.
Private Perk is a funny little codger with a smile, a funny smile. Like Eton, he's an awful little dodger with a smile, a funny smile. The short road, he'll have his little joke, he can't be so fresh. All the other fellas have to grin when he gets this off his head. Hey! Pack all your troubles in your old kit bag and smile.